Hey everyone, Mrs. Spatola here. We're ready to start Unit 6, Algebraic Expressions and Factoring. Here is a rundown of what the unit looks like. So if you take a look here, you can see all the different lessons. There will be approximately 10 to 11 lessons in this unit. So let's take a look and let's get started. Unit 6, Lesson 1, Identifying and Combining Like Terms. How do we identify and combine like terms? Well, that's the first thing we're going to be looking at. In this unit, Unit 6, there's going to be a lot of vocabulary. In some of the other units, we've already covered some of the vocabulary that's actually in this unit, so some of them should look familiar. Let's get started with the do now. Are fruits and vegetables the same? So basically, we're asking, are they the same? Yes or no? And another way we could look at it is asking, are they like or unlike? Well, you could probably look at fruits and vegetables and say, well, they can be the same because there's something that we can eat. But logistically, if we look at them, this is more from a visual perspective. If we were to look at them, are they the same? Yes or no? So, of course, we know that fruits and vegetables are not the same. Yes, they are good for our bodies, but they're not the same. And in this unit, again, we're going to just simply keep calm and combine like terms. So what we're going to do is look at like terms. Here we go. Think of like terms as a family. So if you take a look at the images below, each of the photos above have something in common, which makes them like in some way. What are some of the different ways the photos can be grouped as like? So first of all, of course, imagine that there's actually some Islander photos in this. So let's take a look. Which of the photos are like? So if you were to look at these, I see SpongeBob, I see candy, I see some ice cream, and I see some hockey players. And they all happen to be wearing the same hockey jersey. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use shapes. I'm going to actually use shapes to help me to identify. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to use different shapes, and this is something that you're going to see throughout this unit too. Shapes are going to be visual helpers for us to identify things that are like. So first off, I'm going to notice, I see there's 3 hockey players. Of course, one of Mrs. Spatola's favorite, Matt Martin here. So I'm going to put a circle around the hockey players. Okay, and then we have one here, Matt Barzell. And then we have another one here. So we have 3 hockey players. What else do you notice is like? So let's say candy. Okay, we can look at candy. So what are the candies that you see? Let's put a triangle around the candies. So if you pause for a minute, you can let's do a triangle around the candies. Okay, we're just going to identify them, the shape. So this is the candy family. So we had the hockey family, now we have the candy family. And I take a look and I see what's left. I see SpongeBob just hanging out there all by himself, a cartoon, and then I see this delicious ice cream. What a way to get started in the day. All of your favorites, well, all of my favorites, candy, hockey, ice cream. SpongeBob, not so much maybe. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a rectangle around the last like items, which is going to be the ice cream. All right, so I have a bit of a rectangle here. And then, of course, SpongeBob, he's a little different, so I'll just put a different shape around him. So let's take a look at what the notes say. When combining like terms, look for something that makes them related or something they have in common. Mathematically, in math terms, identify whether there is a variable that terms may have in common. So we start off by just looking at basic pictures. So we took a look here, and it's easy to identify because they all are things pretty much that we're aware of, things that I happen to like. But when it comes to the math part, mathematically, we're going to shift our thinking into math thinking instead of the visual for actual types of items. We're going to look at the variables. And remember, variables are the letters that generally represent numbers in math. So let's take a look here. There are 3 different terms that we need to be familiar with before we move on. The first is coefficient. The next is like terms, and the last is constant. And I know that these are something that we looked at in an earlier unit. A coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So it's before, or we can simply say to the left of the variable. It's next to. It's not really in front of, it's next to. Just fix that in your workbook. Next to the variable. To the right. I'm sorry, to the left. All right, that's going to be to the left. So in this example here, your variable is x, so your coefficient, or what was the word that we used in class? You can probably remember this. Copilot. Please don't tell me on a math test, oh yeah, that's the copilot. We just use that as one of those crazy mnemonics to help us remember. So in the example 5x, the coefficient is 5. Like terms. Like terms have the same variable and exponent. It's not about the number. It's about, now this is where it starts to get tricky. It has to be the same variable, letter, and exponent. Is it written to the same power? For example, 6x and 10x are like terms. They are like because they have the same variable. It's not about the coefficient. In this example here, 5y and 2x are not like terms. Why? Because they have different variables. The variables are different. Variables are different. So you can just put that in your notes. That's why the variables are different. And lastly, a constant is just a number by itself, simply 8. Let's go on to the next page. Again, some review. We have the expression 3y plus 4y. The terms are actually numbers with variables that we add or subtract together. So in this particular example, there are two what we call terms. And the terms are 3y and the other one is 4y. Let's review some more vocabulary. A variable is a symbol. A variable is a symbol that represents an unknown quantity, often represented using a letter. Again, coefficient, the number in front of the variable in a term. And where is it? We can say it is to the left of the variable. Remember, it's always the number and then the variable. A term is when addition or subtraction signs separate an algebraic expression into parts. Each part is a term. So again, looking up here, here's a term, 3y, plus here's another term, 4y. When terms are like terms, they are terms that have the same variables raised to the same exponent or power, but could have different coefficients. So keep that in mind. Let's try our first exercise. Directions. Classify and write each of the following under like terms or unlike terms. Simply what I'm going to have you do is just draw an arrow. So let's do some of these and look at the first one. I'll do the first two together and then you try the rest by yourselves. 10x and 2x, are they like terms or unlike terms? Well, I see they have the same variable, so they are like terms. So I'm just going to ask you to draw an arrow. 5y and y, are they like terms or unlike terms? Well, they have the same variable, so which is y, so they are like terms. Go through the rest, pause this video at this time, try the rest and do the same, and indicate whether they are like or unlike. Pause the video, and then you can come back, start it up, and check your work. And there are your answers for each of these. Please notice that even when you have variables that are in some of the other ones, okay, in the other term, they are still unlike. In order for this one here to be like terms, they would have to have x and y in both. Okay, another thing just simply to look at, these are like y because they are raised to the same power, the same exponent to the same power. Now here they have the same powers, but they have different variables, so they are unlike. Let's move on. Next page, practice. Okay, we have some practice. Are the following terms like or not like? Write your choice in the box. So very simply, all you have to do in the box is write like or unlike. I'll do the first couple with you, and then basically the rest of the page is going to be the same. You're going to write whether they are like or not like, and then we'll take a look at the answers tomorrow. Okay, top section here. Let's look at some of these together. Ready? Here we go. 10x, 2x. Are they like or not like? Good, they are like. Same variable, different coefficient. That's okay. 5y and y. Are they like or not like? They are like. Why are they like? They have the same variable. 3x and 2y. Are they like or not like? They are not like. Why are they not like? Different variable. Next one, 9x squared, 5x squared. They are like. Why are they like? Same exponent to the same power. 4n, 8x. Like or not like? They are not like. Why are they not like? Because they have different variables. I am going to ask you to pause the video here and complete the rest of the page on your own. Then we're going to take a look at what's expected on the next page, which is your homework. And lastly, this is your homework page. At the top, numbers 11 to 14. 11 to 14 at the top are going to be like or unlike. Then here, are these pairs of expressions equivalent? You're going to try to guess on these, well, not really guess, but use what you know and see what you can do with these. Lastly, we have a couple of review questions. Try your best. This is Mrs. Spatola wishing you a great day. And remember, always be kind.